There it is.
There we go.
Powered by Riverside.
It's by Riverside, yo.
Powered by.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody,
Welcome, everybody.
to Beer,
Crack it.
Skydiving Podcast.
Crack it. Smack
What's
it.
going up, man? What's going up? Hey, what's going up? What's going on, man?
What's going down?
How are you feeling? You feeling all right?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Feeling all right.
Moving and grooving and healing?
Yeah. I can walk and everything.
Good deal. Good deal.
Guess
Hey,
who's
what's up, guys?
arrived? Jeff
Hey.
Miller.
I'm so computer illiterate. I'm like, oh crap!
Joe's
Thanks
a
for
little
having me, though.
button happy over there.
How's
We
the
were,
leg? Joe? How's the leg?
Oh,
Like
My
I
leg.
asked.
It's still attached.
Yeah, good.
It's good. Functional. I can run if I had to.
Cool.
It's hard
Glad
to
to hear you're
squat.
okay.
that's impressive that, you're like, it didn't do more damage. You must have done it just in the right spot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up again. I've only known one other person who did that, and it was my old boss. And it didn't go through his leg, but it did go through his floor and took out a boiler pipe and ruined his night.
Yeah, I imagine.
I
Anyways,
talked to the cops, and he's like, I hate to say it, but policemen shoot themselves all the time. I talked to Dave Masura this morning. The guy, the newer, you know, who Dave is? Big Dave? The
I
bigger
do.
guy?
I don't
Yeah,
think so.
he's like, yeah, it happens all the time. 'Cause I think he's a sheriff's deputy or something like that.
but
Oh.
anyway,
Well, Jeff, you joined us just at the beginning here. We were literally just getting started. So,
oh, cool.
for I guess maybe those who don't know you, why don't you introduce yourself? You are Jeff Miller.
Yeah.
We all know and love you, but why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit?
Well, I am. I live in the South Hills of Pittsburgh, originally from Boston, and I got into this sport probably three or 4 years ago. I went on a tandem with my son for his birthday. It's what he wanted to do for his 18th birthday, and so we went to Skydive PA and we did the tandem, and he loved it and I loved it, and it was a ton of fun. But after doing it, I'm like, you know what? I was so nervous, the build up, and then it was over, so I'm like, I need to do it again. I gotta, like, now that my mind's right, I gotta do it again. So for Father's Day, he took me the following year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then it was apparent that I needed to get into AFF, and here I am. It took a long time. Actually, I think I took my first IAT classes with Danny. And
Oh,
we
wow.
all
Shields.
Danny Shields.
yeah, and he's got hundreds of jumps now, but yeah. So yeah,
All right, cool.
about it.
How many
So
jumps do you have?
I was just gonna say you're still newer, right, as far as jump numbers go. So where you at?
Yeah, I'm at 67 jumps. Yeah, I just
You should start flying a camera and swooping, dude. Right now.
That's what all the
Downsize.
cool kids do.
well, I figured
Yeah.
after this podcast I'd be ready. So
You're ready now.
We could
All the good stuff.
we'll hook you up with Fluffy Jeff Witt, and he'll tell you a really cool story about exactly why you should do that.
Yeah, I have.
What episode
Don't
was that?
do
2 or
that.
3? Anyways, cool. So I was gonna, ask you guys about your Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff, because it is 2025 now. Everybody, holidays
Thank
went
God.
well and everything.
it was awesome. I worked the whole time, but
Oh, nice. That sucks.
yeah, good money.
Yeah.
Good money.
Well, oh yeah,
I think
probably.
I've used
Time and
probably
a half at
5
least,
of
probably.
my 9 lives in 2024.
Hey, you had a rough year, bro.
Yes.
You had a rough year, and it just didn't let up. Like,
It was, man.
Was that the same leg that you broke your ankle on?
No,
Okay.
I broke my heel.
Or heel. Okay.
Yeah, my right foot. Then I sprained and torn a ligament on my left foot / ankle.
Your legs are glutton for punishment.
Then I shot myself in the leg. Yeah. It's just a testament how
Yeah,
much grit and grime. You just keep going, man.
you got it.
how durable you are.
Yeah. Hold on, let me show you. I'll show you a nice picture.
Oh. Do we need to warn people before you show
I
your
don't know
screen?
if you're squeamish.
All right,
It
you've
doesn't
been
look-
warned.
It's not bad. Let's see here. Make sure the screen.
Oh, well, you're looking for that. Shout out to Cecil and Cindy today.
I just
Oh,
heard
yeah.
that before.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, B told me. She's like,
Yeah.
Cecil got married. I'm like,
Got
Cool.
hitched.
cool, man.
Try it again.
Yeah, why not? All right, what are you doing? Flipping through all of your different monitors over there, trying to figure out which
Yeah.
one? Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, while Joe's trying to find that, Jeff, the reason that you're here is because you had a question. You have a topic to talk about. You have, like the first person to reach out after some encouragement to and you know suggest a topic. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, so one aspect of the show I really like is that, you got kind of beginner, more senior person like Joe, someone with higher jump, less jump. And so as a newer jumper, and I don't know if Brian can attest to this, but I'm kind of like, okay, I'm flying good on my belly now. And I want to start trying more things. So free flying, where do we start as, say, a newer jumper? How do we even get started? Where do we get started?
How much money do you have?
Well, that's I've spent
Oh,
a
I know
lot
what you're
already.
gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling I know where you're going with that. And when I
The
was
more bang for your buck, even though it's expensive, is to hit the tunnel.
yes.
But before I did, that's not true. Like I did a bunch of tunnel time before I even did AFF, so it made it a lot easier. But backflying's not super hard to learn in the sky if you got somebody that can chase you, that's fast enough, that can at least angle fly.
Mhm.
But that's
You've
the
been on your
progression.
back at least once, right, Jeff? Didn't I see a video of you
Yeah, we went
on your back?
we went to Paraclete a couple weeks ago, and I have a childhood friend who's actually one of the wind tunnel instructors there, and he also teaches AFF
Cool.
and free fly. So we did. I did 6 jumps, 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and Sunday I just focused on back flying. And so we did 3 exits, we did 2 exits out onto our back. Well, I did onto my back. And then the third we did where I just, exited, got to belly, and then went over into a back flying position, and flew the whole time. And that it started clicking, having that coaching and just focusing that whole free fall time on the whole back flight.
Did were your traps real sore?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. And
That's-
then after we did those, so that was Sunday. We did the 3 back flights on Sunday, and after we went to the tunnel then and did 15 minutes in the tunnel, and then I was
see, that's like 15. That's 15 jumps, baby.
yeah. I mean, it was it was great. It was
You'll really be able to tell when you're really getting engaged with the back fly in a neutral position,
yes,
because your traps and your shoulders, your rear delts will be just super sore.
sure.
Because if they're not, that means you're just sales carsman, fluffy guy.
Yeah, and that's so that that outing at XP kind of made me think more about, like when we were watching the video, I was kind of rocky, kind of rocking around a little bit. And I was thinking maybe I wasn't holding a solid enough position. But then he showed me my rig was kind of moving, and he was telling me I could either tighten my leg straps and so it just kind of got me thinking. And another thing really quick to go to kind of why I wanted to talk about free flying was because, some instructors, you'll say like, oh, I'd love to learn how to go head down or whatever. Oh, no, you're not ready to try that yet, or blah, blah, blah. But then some other instructors, like my friend, he's like, well, what do you want to try? And I'm like, well, can I try this? He's like, hell yeah, let's go for it. And I don't know if that's because some instructors maybe can't get to you and some can, but there's just so many variables.
I think for skydiving, it should be, you're already A licensed, so you're responsible for yourself, right?
Yep.
That's if you're going through the tunnel, there's now the International Body Flight Association that you have to sign up for, and you have to get checked off on certain skills, like you have to be belly proficient, and then they'll check stuff off, and then there'll be belly formation that you can do. So like you have to fly with the instructor, and then they'll check a bunch of stuff off, and then they'll move you to back fly. But that's the tunnel. And the sky, any coach or instructor that can free fly will teach you pretty much whatever you want to know.
Yeah.
But the natural progression is back fly, because if you're trying to sit fly with a group of people and you cork out and you go to your belly, you're never going to catch them, right? Or head down, you need to be able to cork to your back and back into a sit, or to your back and then back into head down. Like back flying's the transition whenever you cork out from, head up or head down flying.
Okay.
That's why back flying is important.
Sure.
To be able to make those transitions.
Yep. And I had known. Sorry.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, Joe, what is your thought on like when a person should start trying to free fly? Because the way that I approached it was I wanted to get proficient on my belly, and I wouldn't say I'm proficient, but like I'm not awful fly, and so I basically just every jump I did up until 100 jumps was belly flying. I didn't even really try to back fly. I got on my back like twice, but I didn't make it a point to try that. Do you see a benefit in going that route, or like should Jeff just be like, screw it, I want to start back flying? Does it matter?
Depends what your goal is, man. Right? Do you want to become a very proficient free flyer? Then start free flying, back fly, get at least proficient at back flying where you can stay in one spot, turn left and right, go up and down. Mm-hmm. And then from there you can work into, sitting, getting up into a sit. If that's what you want to do. If your goal is to, become an AFF instructor or a coach or something, then I would get very proficient on your belly. Or if your goal in the end is to wingsuit, I would get proficient on your belly and then start tracking with other people. Then maybe throw on a tracking suit. You don't have to. A wingsuit's much easier to learn how to fly than a 2-piece tracking suit. But it just depends on what your goals are, man. If you want to free fly, go for it, right? There's no rules or set jump numbers that you need to have, or a progression that you have to follow.
Yeah. And it's interesting because from the different, so I've been fortunate enough to jump at 7 drop zones so far. And everyone was, different, the people you would meet, and kind of had a different, they were all cool vibes and everything, but kind of everybody
got their opinion, right? Yeah.
And through, in my 67 jumps, I guess so far what I'm finding is if you want to, like you said, tunnel, or if you want to learn something, like I just did 3 jumps of back flight,
Mm-hmm.
and had a coach. And coaching can at least give you the foundation. I hope it
Yeah.
worked.
Did you get some outside video and stuff? Well, obviously, I did see one of your jumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We videoed all of them, and yeah, I mean uh, him being able to point out, even like I said, the rig moving and stuff. That's I would have never even thought of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very beneficial.
Yeah. Whatever route you want to go. There's nothing. I wouldn't say there's no rules, but
So in free flying, and here's another question for you. So when we belly fly, obviously we wear the belly suits, or the full suits. And you see a lot of free flyers wearing swooping pants with a jersey, or
free fly pants, stuff like
yeah,
that.
free fly pants. Is it better to wear that type of gear, more tighter gear, free flying than versus belly flying? Or is it preference? Or
So I'm not an expert free flyer, right?
Sure.
I mean, I can't shred head down.
Right.
Can I
Yeah.
get into head down? Yeah.
Mhm.
Most free flyers wear a tighter suit, and then they learn to fly their body to slow down.
Okay.
You know,
Yep.
like if you're a bigger guy, maybe a looser fitting free fly suit, but not like a belly suit with booties and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I guess that would be more a goal or a question oriented for more of a free fly coach, I think.
Yeah. Totally.
I used to have a free fly suit,
Mhm.
and that's what I wore when I was only 165 pounds then, but it was tight so that I could go faster because most of the people that I jumped with were heavier than I was.
Okay.
So it doesn't make a difference, but I'm sure there's probably a recommendation of, how fast do you fall? How fast can you go?
Yep.
How much can you slow down? Flying head down, etc.
Yeah, it's amazing how much the speeds change. Even one of my back flights, I think my altimeter clocked 196 miles an hour.
Yeah, you get cooking, man.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't realize that's why. That's why I won't jump with I won't do AFF with anybody that's like less than 150 pounds,
Yeah.
depending,
Makes sense.
right? Maybe 140, depends on their build, right?
Sure.
Because if I let go of you, even with the biggest suit I have, like I'm never gonna get back up to you.
Yep.
Like you're just gonna float away.
Yeah.
And the same goes for like heavy guys. Now I will. When I had my AFF the first time, like I wouldn't jump with super heavy, big guys,
Okay.
because I couldn't get going fast enough, taking a 250 pound guy on an AFF jump and I'm 160, 165,
Yeah.
even in a tight free fly, it's very hard to catch an out of control big guy.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And so, speaking of out of control, let me ask you this. One thing I've often thought about in the past is, say you're completely out of control. The newer jumper or whoever, say you're completely just spiraling out of control. Is there any particular way to stop that, like whether you ball up and open up, or is there any type of, you know what I mean?
Just like AFF
Well, it's
says,
just arch,
man.
right?
Arch,
Yeah,
relax,
yeah.
breathe, relax.
Yeah.
You're spinning out of control this way, just relax and arch.
Yep.
Your toe tap. Make sure your arms are symmetrical. I think the only time I would suggest maybe balling up or something is if you're in a wingsuit and you're in a flat spin,
Yep.
because those can get going pretty quick,
Oh, I bet.
and eventually you'll pass out.
Yeah.
But if you're an A licensed jumper, you should be able to. Nobody's going to let you move on from, say, category C2 or D1 without being able to hold a heading and stay on your belly.
Yeah.
If you're a spinner, you're going to stay there unless you get some tunnel time and figure it out, or it just clicks in the sky. And from what that's why I think video for AFF is good.
Oh,
'Cause it's
totally.
good
Yeah.
for students. It used to be a lot of people didn't want to do it just because of the snag hazard, and the cameras are so different these days too.
Okay.
But yeah, as an eight, I think as a licensed jumper, you don't have to worry about that. You already know how to get unstable and get stable.
Yeah. I'm just curious. I've had a few. The last jump, and I don't know if Brian saw it, but the last jump I did in the back flight, um, he didn't realize how low we were, and he came and he docked with me while I was upside down, and we started going, and he like flung me, and I'm just like a spiraling mess, and literally the minute I got control, I looked and had to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, if you're on your back and you're like spinning real hard, just relax.
yeah,
Let the wind take your legs and your arms, just like you're falling.
yeah.
And, that'll stop. And then you can roll over. That's how, I did a lot of my back flying out of the plane like that when I first started free flying, is I just exited on my back
Yep.
and just kind of rode it. Rode it down, and then eventually, worked on it in the tunnel and stuff too. But
Yeah. The tunnel's great.
So, can we talk a little bit about the tunnel?
no,
Damn it.
Yep.
So we're hopefully going to jump on Saturday at Skydive, Pennsylvania, but the weather's going to be shit, so I'm sure it's going to be canceled. And I have a no-kid weekend, and my wife's in Colorado. I was going to drive down to Paraclete, but it's like
your time is better off spent the tunnel, man.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
Call ahead, though. I would get calling. Like when you're going to do like a Friday?
Probably Saturday. Like this Saturday.
Depends on where you go. You're going to have to call around to the tunnels and tell them what you're looking to do.
Do I have to tell them that I'm a skydiver? Like, can I just roll in and be like, I want to fly my belly? Yeah.
Or else they're going to give you you're going to buy a 2-minute flight, and they're going to pull you in, and they're going to fly you around and fly you to the top and, do all the stuff they do for first-time flyers.
If you go to XP, I have a contact who you could contact directly.
Well, I'm not driving 10 hours to go to a tunnel. If I was going to go to XP, then I would just jump. But
Or you could do both. You could do both.
Yeah. But I decided I don't want to drive for 10 hours just to drive 10 hours back home, the next day. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, you are up to Erie too. That's an extra.
Yeah.
On that.
It's an extra 2 hours. Yeah. So I think the nearest tunnel is Detroit. I think that's the nearest one.
Yeah, you're kind of not quite in the center, right? Because there's one in Loudon. There's actually two that are in Virginia. One on Loudoun County Parkway, and there's another one. I forget what the town's called. And then you got Detroit, and then you got.
Isn't there one in like Toronto, or like somewhere just over the Canadian border, like Buffalo? Somewhere, isn't there one up there?
I think so. And then there's one in over by Philly, between Harrisburg and Philly. There's one.
Yeah, that's like a 6-hour drive. I might as well go to Paraclete if I'm going there.
How far is it to Detroit?
4.
Yeah, that's probably your best bet, because that's about 3.5, 4 hours from where I live to the tunnel in Virginia.
All right. So yeah, I could do that in a day. I could drive out there.
You got to call. I would call ahead, because sometimes they will not give you block time on the weekends. Depends on the tunnel. That's why when we went on a Saturday or a Friday.
Damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
When I used to go, before I started AFF, I used to drive to, this is before like iFly was a huge thing. I'd drive to Skyventure, New Hampshire. It was a long drive, really long drive.
Yeah.
But I got to know the people, and they'd give me, hey, we can fit you in. I call them like a week or so before and be like, hey, are you going to have any open slots, on Saturday? And they'd be like, yeah, we have a group, so we could probably work you in for 15 or 20 minutes at such and such time. So you're in there with like the tourist first time flyers type stuff. But then they just work you in for like 2-minute rotations or whatever. And you work with the instructor or the coach that's in there.
Okay. So
they might not let you do that. I don't know.
Yeah. What I was hoping was I would just show up and not tell them I was
Don't
a
do
skydiver
that.
because I don't want to do that IBAF or whatever
You're gonna
IBFA
have
or
to.
what. Do
You'll
I
have
really?
to. And if you're new to the tunnel, they're gonna make you take a first flight course. Period. Doesn't matter where you
Yeah.
go. It's like 5 minutes. You sit down in a room and they
Oh,
tell
so
you.
it's not like 6 hours of like.
No, you watch a video that's like 5 minutes long.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
and then when it's your turn or whatever, you go in and they'll show you how to enter and exit the tunnel, etc. They'll put you on the cage first, right? And then slowly turn up the speed and then start evaluating where you are with your belly flying, right? You'll know immediately whether you're backsliding or drifting.
Yes,
Right. I think that'd be
You'll know
super
immediately.
valuable.
it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I've
Um,
found is different about the tunnel is, you're in that confined space.
You have a
So,
point of reference.
yeah, you notice everything. When you're in the sky, and if you're backsliding, I'm not going to know that I'm doing that. Yeah, the tunnel was great.
Yeah, I think
all right.
backsliding is probably the most common bad habit for newer jumpers.
Yeah.
Because you get comfortable
I'm
and you just
real
let your
good at
legs go like
backsliding.
this, and then
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's a good
Yeah.
skill to have to be able to control. Backslide a little bit, stop, turn in place, back in. So
Yeah.
you can always still keep it in your toolbox.
Should
But
I?
you'll know right away in the tunnel whether you're side sliding or backsliding. The
Should I
tunnel's-
take my jumpsuit and my helmet, or will they make me use their stuff?
Yes. Yeah, you can use your helmet
Take
since
my own
it's closed faced, and you can use your jumpsuit.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, then I will call them tomorrow and see if that's something I can do or not.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely call ahead.
Yeah.
It might, but
The one in Canada might be closer.
You will be sore after.
Yeah, dude, you will.
Yeah.
If you've never been in the tunnel, you'll be surprised.
No, I haven't.
You'll be surprised how it's like. If you do 20 minutes, it's like doing 20 skydives.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, in under an hour. Yeah, that's where if you tried to do the drop zone, it'd take you 2 weekends if
Right.
you're lucky.
Well, more than that for me.
It was great being at XP. I couldn't pack fast enough, to keep getting
I
out
got
loads.
Yeah, they got a big plane too,
Yeah.
and people return it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they got a bar there, so you can have beer after.
That place has grown. That place has grown since the first time I jumped there. First time I jumped there was just the rigging shop, the office, and then they had the hangar. It's more like
Oh,
a
wow.
barn.
That's an amazing facility.
Yeah, it's real nice now.
How many planes do they have down there?
They had 3. Well, 3 that we saw. They had the Skyvan. What did we jump?
Probably a pack or something.
Yep, the pack. And
A Twin Otter. Where do they?
what did we? I can't remember.
If it's
Yeah,
the
they have-
big, if it's the big door, and it's a twin engine.
Yeah,
Right.
the single engine.
It's a pack. That's probably the pack.
Yeah,
And I saw, you guys had this.
they had the caravan.
Skyvan.
They had a caravan.
Yeah.
Silver
Okay.
caravan.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what we jumped out of. Was the caravan for the weekend? But the Skyvan looks really cool. I'd love to get to jump out of that.
He still used to do a Skyvan boogie back in the day. Every season we do one Skyvan boogie. They bring in a Skyvan, and it's fun.
Yeah, something different.
Yeah. Brian's a Cessna guy. He loves his Cessnas.
I don't love the Cessnas. I don't mind jumping out of the Cessnas because sometimes that's the only plane there is to jump out of. But
Yeah.
I would much rather have a King Air or a Caravan or something like that. But if all
Yeah,
I've got is
me
a
too.
Cessna, then
Yeah.
I'm happy to jump out of it.
Yeah, me too. Although closer I get to 50, like I'd say the first 5 seconds of free fall, I can't feel my legs because they're still coming back to life.
Yeah,
from
sometimes
sitting
getting
past
falling
the
asleep in that
elbows.
plane. Yeah, not the butt. Yeah, man.
Asses the elbows.
So
but they're fun.
here's another free fly question that I have too. So when you're belly flying versus free flying in a group, does with the speeds does that change off your breakaway altitudes, or should it, or
Um,
since
I don't
you're
think so. You just
okay?
Yeah.
no. You just need to be able. I buy an audible, maybe two.
Yep.
I used to have two when I did a lot of free flying.
Oh, okay.
I had one on each side,
Yep.
and I just in case,
Sure.
you know.
Sure.
Because if you're free flying, you aren't going like this.
Yep.
You know,
Right. Were they both
audibles are
like
pretty
perfectly
dang
accurate?
reliable. Yeah, they're pretty accurate and pretty damn reliable these days.
It drive
Get
me
a
nuts to have
Quattro
one go
or
off and then have one go off like a second later.
yeah,
Drive me
something
nuts.
like that. I used to jump with two. But no, I don't think it needs to change your break off
Yeah, I'm just
altitudes.
curious if any of the it's kind
No,
of
you just got to
outside
be able to transition to break off and be able to slow down so you don't shit whip yourself when you deploy.
Yes, that's no good. Done that a few times.
Oh, I did it in Brazil, lost my camera. It sucked.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been a real hard one.
Yep, I lost my 360. So kind of bummed.
Did you get a new one?
Nope.
No.
Haven't gotten a new one yet. My buddy Blake had an extra GoPro, so I got to film like 2 jumps at Caprito. But all the jumps I had at Padeto near Victoria. It's the 360 lane at the bottom of Padeto. Somebody wants to go up there and look for it.
That's great.
Nah, we were working on exits and then getting into tracking at that subterminal, window from subterminal to terminal. And I had been doing so much wingsuit flying that during deployment, I'm used to flying through my deployments. So I got cooking in the track and just dumped. And boy, whew,
That's
even slider up, that hurt. That hurt.
So it was just
was
the
a-
force of the opening because you were going so fast that
Oh, it was a smacker,
knocked
man.
it off
Oh,
your knee.
yeah. My back still hurts.
What size canopy is that?
285.
Okay. Wow.
It's a Tear OSP2. They measure it. It's a 265 light.
Okay.
So it packs smaller, but they measure from the bottom skin. That's where almost everyone else measures PIA, which is the top skin.
Okay.
It's technically a 282, but even slider up with a large mesh slider, jumping in a track.
Now, did you have multiple rigs with you, or just that?
No, I just took my base rig. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Most of the time it was 2 to 3 jumps. I think at Padeto I got 8 or 9 jumps there.
Wow.
And at Caprito I got. I'd have to look. Somewhere between 5 and 7.
I think you said
but that
I think you said you ended up with like 14 total or something like that.
somewhere around there, 14, 15 total jumps. But I also got sick like 3 days before the end of the trip, which sucked. So
You need to stay in the country, man. You just need to stay in the country. Leaving America does not agree with you.
it doesn't. Cursed.
That
So
sucks.
does
Though.
the base jump count as currency?
The space jump counts currency? Why? I have a D license, so
No,
I
I
can
know.
go 180 days.
Yeah, I think I'm there. Jeff, do you plan on
I
trying
would
to?
say it's current, yeah. If you're, terminal.
Go jump off my porch real quick and sign it.
Are you thinking about getting into base jumping?
Absolutely not. I like I really want to learn how to free fly. That's kind of I want to learn how to free fly and then travel. I want to go try and jump at as many drop zones as I can.
Yeah, you're kicking butt. You said you have like what? You're 7 underneath your belt already.
Yeah, I've been to 7.
Where have you jumped?
I've jumped at Skydive Santa Barbara. I've jumped at Cross Keys,
Yep, I've done that.
Paraclete.
Done that.
Paraclete.
The Landers Hills.
Let's see. Yeah, Paraclete. Pepperell, Skydive Pepperell.
Hey, I've jumped up there. Yep,
Yeah,
Scott
it was
Pepperell.
cool. Jan, she's super nice. She owns it.
Is Don still the rigger up there? That was a long time ago. He was getting
I'm
up there in
not
age.
sure. Oh, and the ranch. I jumped at the ranch.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was up at the ranch, and someone saw one of the guys packing saw my Skydive Pennsylvania shirt, and he's like, "Oh, do you know Cole?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know Cole." He goes,
Zimmerman.
"Yeah," and I guess he was
Yeah.
packing up there for a little bit in the summer when the
Oh, that's cool.
King Air was out.
Yeah, man. You'll know. I mean, there are a lot of skydivers, but compared to like the general public, you'll always run into somebody that you know or somebody that knows somebody that you know
I bet.
that you've seen before at any drop zone you go to.
Yeah, going
That-
to the,
And that group gets even smaller when you start base jumping too.
I
Like,
could imagine.
But- yeah, I think I've done Skydive San Diego, Paris, Elsinore, Oceanside, DeLand, Z Hills, Paraclete, Skydive Carolina, Cross Keys,
Yep.
Skydive Sussex, obviously Skydive PA, and probably missing a couple others.
Cleveland, I'm sure. You've been out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cleveland. Ricks.
Parkman.
Have you ever jumped Ricks?
jumped at Rick's. Yeah,
Yeah.
Skydive Rick's.
Do you want to count Waynesburg? Is that-
Waynesburg.
Hey, yeah. Good jump.
I've jumped quite. I'm probably missing something.
How did you like
Somewhere.
Oceanside?
It was all right.
Yeah. I tried to go to Skydive San Diego, and figures the one time their plane's broken for the week. It was a Sunday, beautiful day, and
It's always
Broken
beautiful in San
plane, Diego.
yeah. So
Paris. If I had to choose between Paris and Elsinore, though, I'd go with Elsinore.
you'd go with Elsinore, okay?
Yeah, just more my type of people.
Mhm.
Like
You guys are
I
making
mean,
me want to drive to North Carolina now.
Paris is cool. I mean, I like
Yeah.
Paris. It's cool. You can every once in a while you can do the jet jump.
Oh yeah.
The commercial jet.
Yep.
Actually, Nina and Anthony just did that.
Yeah, they
last
were
week.
just out there and did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a
Plus,
DC-9?
they do.
Yeah.
Was that a DC-9? Right? I think.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's a
not
DC-9. That would be cool.
That'd be really cool. Skydive Santa Barbara was great. I ended up. It really wasn't that crowded, but the landing area for like newer jumpers was a dried up riverbed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was very interesting jumping out there.
Air Ohio. I can't forget about Air Ohio.
How is Air Ohio?
It's awesome, man.
I'd love to go there.
Their hangars sweet. It's an awesome place. Cool people. Super cool people.
Mm-hmm.
They got a Twin Otter.
Oh, cool.
I think they bought one.
I've never
This year.
jumped out of a Twin Otter before.
Oh, dude, Twin Otter is probably one of my most favorite.
Yeah, or is that a Twin
That's
Otter
what
at the
the-
ranch?
That's with the door
I'm
right
not
out
sure
the
what
back,
the
right?
ranch has. What's that?
The Twin Otters with the door directly out the tail, right?
No, that's a Skyvan or a Casa.
Yeah.
Oh,
Skyvan or a Casa has the door that lifts up like
Yeah.
this way when you're inside.
I thought that was a
A
Twin,
Twin
Otter.
Otter, it's a twin. Obviously, it's a twin engine
Right.
plane, turbine, and it's got a giant door. And the Otter, the wings are off the top of the plane
Mhm.
with the support struts.
Yeah,
It has like a
Cessna.
pack. If you jump
Yeah.
out of the pack, it's still got almost the same size door, except the wings are like,
With the
when
wing,
you're jumping
yeah,
out,
the pack's a
you
low
can-
wing, yeah.
yeah, technically you could jump out and touch the wing if you really tried to.
Yeah.
That's what Pepperell had, was a pack.
Pack, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, out of the, it is true, out of the drop zones I've been to, if you can land at Skydive PA's drop zone,
Land anywhere, buddy.
you can land anywhere. Yes.
Man, they got
I really like
Ohio's
hearing
got
that.
huge landing areas, Z Hills, DeLand. Almost everywhere else you go has like,
It's huge.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you land off, it's your own fault.
It makes you realize how much you've learned. You actually do know.
Yeah.
How big would you say the the LZ at Skydive, Pennsylvania is? 3
Right.
acres?
It's like 330 by 330, right? I think it's
Oh, is that what it
just.
is?
I think it's just
I'd
the
have to scale it.
actual
So it's like an
limitation.
acre. So it's like an acre and a half.
Yeah, it's not very big. I'd have to scale it, but it couldn't be any smaller, or else they couldn't be a USPA drop zone.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's
Especially
just,
surrounded three sides with trees.
yeah.
Yeah, no
Like
kidding,
they're-
right? Jesus
They're like
Christ.
right at the limit. Like I believe they had to do some. Jeff bought some extra. I think Jeff bought an extra portion of land or an extra, lot of acreage at one point, and I think they, logged it and in order to meet criteria. I could be wrong, but if you look at the old, like if you go into the bathroom, there's an older picture, like aerial photo,
Yeah.
and you can tell that the drop zone back then was even the
Smaller.
LZ was even much smaller. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
I know the first time I jumped there in like 2000, I landed on the other side of the fence in grass that was probably this tall.
I
Been jumping
hate
a long
landing
time.
south. I hate landing south at SPA. I don't know what
Why?
it is, but it just mind fucks me. I don't know. It just mind
Landed
fucks me.
southwest or southeast.
Well, yeah, south or southeast. It doesn't matter. If I'm going towards the fence, I don't
Dude,
like it.
southeast is the best landing direction that you can have at
No
Skydive
way.
PA.
How?
Yes,
No,
it is.
coming
It's got the
over
cleanest air.
coming over the trees and okay, yes,
It's got the cleanest
it
air,
would
dude.
definitely have the cleanest air. But just coming over the trees in the corner, I don't like it. Like I don't like being
Then
back in
don't
the
get
trees.
over the trees. You don't have to get over the trees.
But then I feel like I'm too low to make my base to final turn.
Well, then you need to learn how to adjust your pattern according to the winds, according to the wind direction of your, landing direction.
Yeah, all right, fine. I'm still learning, man.
You learn how to base jump, dude. You need to be able to land in any direction, various wind conditions, and put it down where you want it.
I'm not saying I won't do it. I'm just saying I don't like to do it.
Is that what's next for you, Brian? Is base jumping? Is that what you,
Well, I want to. I would
Canopy
like,
accuracy is what's next for Brian.
yeah.
Canopy accuracy.
I would
Yeah,
like to. I would like to at least go to Bridge Day
Mhm.
next year. I don't know if I'll actually get into, really base jumping, but I would like to make at least one base jump. Like that's
That's the place to do it.
kind of
Like
my
you-
goal for next year.
Okay, yeah, I'm just curious where you're like free flying. What kind do you like? What?
No, I want to get into wingsuiting. I want a wingsuit.
Shooting? Okay,
Yeah. So, another 90, 80 some jumps, I can put one on as long as Joe says I'm allowed to.
the 200 is that the?
It's 200,
200
right?
That's
Yeah.
recommended, yeah. Before
Yeah.
you can take in like a wingsuit FJC is 200 skydives.
And then once you get that 200 skydives and say I'm like I want a wingsuit now, what is the next step? Is there like a class like?
It would be the first jump course, the wingsuit first jump
Okay,
course.
so they have
You-
it's like
Yeah, you would definitely do an FJC with somebody for
Okay.
your first wingsuit. Skydive, even skydiving. But I'll be honest, man, the wingsuits are so good these days.
Mhm.
So good. Like compared to I don't know how the guys before I learned how to wingsuit,
Mhm.
wingsuit with wingsuits that they had then. Because they just advanced so well. They're just so well designed
I could imagine.
and built that, I mean, you can be pretty lazy
Mhm.
and still fly with people and fly decent,
Yeah,
if you're flying good, then you can fly with anybody and you have lots of range. And really, once you get into your wingsuit position,
Mhm.
all you do is change your angle.
okay.
You're not,
Angle of
you're
attack.
not, yeah, you're not like the old school spill air with your arms thing isn't what you really do anymore. Or, really hug the wind with your arm wings to slow down. All that does is just kill your speed and stalls the suit. You basically get into that same thing as the tracking body position, and then you just kind of You stay in that body position, and then you just pitch
Okay.
for angle. And even when you flare, you're in the same body position, and you just like that.
What do people
But
have the most issues with learning? Like, what's the hardest? What would you say is the most challenging for people when they first start
deployments,
deployments?
I would think deployments and just a stable exit.
Okay. Yeah, that look. I mean, the exits look. I don't want to say
Yeah.
freaky, but yeah. I mean,
Well, if you're not
Well, you
careful,
gotta stay all
if you have a bigger suit
confined.
on, you can get, you can. It's happened at Pepperell. You can, get a tail strike.
yeah.
Somebody exiting and opening their wings a little bit too soon.
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
noticing that of the wingsuiters going out of the Paris jet. When they would open up, they would go up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's some. Well, that's because the airspeed is so strong, man.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
they're just like zipping straight up right when they're opening
It's
up.
fun. It's fun doing wingsuit exits out of a Skyvan too, because you can kind of go out this way,
Yeah.
and the wind catches your tail, and you do kind of a backflip, and then you fly out of the backflip. It's pretty fun.
So one
But
thing,
yeah.
while my internet connection doesn't seem to suck, sorry about that. Hopefully, I didn't mess things up. One thing I wanted to ask you guys and talk about is, since you brought it up, Jeff, goals for this year, since it is the beginning of the year. Like, what do you guys want to do this year as far as base jumping or skydiving, or like, what do you hope to accomplish? That sort of thing.
Me, I don't know.
You don't know. All right.
I want a wingsuit. I'm going to fly my wingsuit probably a lot more this year. I'll probably throw the tracking suit on too.
All right.
Get proficient at that. Get my glide ratio where I want it in the wingsuit or in the tracking suit, the 2-piece. And then once I get that where I want it, then I'll probably just start jumping the wingsuit. Obviously, I'll do AFF as well. Instructing.
Yeah.
And I mean, the goal is always to base jump, so that'll be in the mix.
Right.
I don't have any. I'm not going on any trips next year. I have no plans.
You shouldn't.
One, financially, I need to work on recovering some money because last year was very expensive just in trips, and then, just chilling in the States for a year or two, and then I'll plan something maybe. Unless I hit the lottery or something, then I'm going to Brento.
Right. I think so. This year, I want it to be my first 100 jump year. Like, I want to get 100 jumps in.
Dude, you can do it.
It's a good
Do
goal.
you have the funds?
Well, the funds isn't the problem. It's the schedule
There you go.
and the kids and that kind of stuff.
Get 2 rigs.
That'd be nice. I could
Get 2 rigs.
maybe we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I'd
Turn rig,
I'd
man.
like to buy a base rig before I buy a turn rig.
Dude, I thought that I would do Bridge Day first.
All right, and then so yeah, I want to make this a 100 jump year. So I was thinking about actually buying the unlimited jump package just to sort of make myself do it. No, okay, all right.
That's just my opinion.
You don't think
Especially with
it's
your
worth
schedule. Well,
Okay.
with your schedule, man.
it? Well, I got close
Your
last year.
duties and stuff. Yeah, but if you don't make 100 jumps, you don't even break even. Like, you
Right.
don't even break even for, the price of 100 jumps. You have to make 100 jumps just to break even, period.
Right. Yeah, no, I understand
And
that.
anything over that's just money in the bank, right? Free
Right.
jumps.
I got, I think, 84 jumps last year or something like that. Like, I could have made it to 100. Like, if I, busted my ass a little bit, packed a little faster, that kind of stuff. I could have made 100 jumps. I was just didn't, So I don't know if
It's easy to do,
but
man. As long if you got the time and
it
the
would be
funds,
close,
yeah, 100 jumps isn't that. I mean, I'd have to look at my logbooks, but first year or second year, I got my A license in 2013 and had my AFF instructor rating in 2014 at some point.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I
I
did it
jumped
quick.
my ass off. Yeah, like I jumped a lot. Like
So
when I got
I-
my A license, I took 2.5 weeks off of work, rented a minivan, and slept in the parking lot at the land until I got my A license.
Man, I wish
Yeah,
I wish I could do stuff like
Bought a
that.
rig and brought it home with me from Shooting Star. But yeah, you just gotta jump. And also, the reason I was able to get there so quick is because I have to look at what the requirements are now, but then it was a C license and you had to have so many hours of free fall time. And since I
For
was
AFFI.
wingsuiting so much, all that counts. Like 3, 4,
Yeah.
5 minute flights, wingsuit flights. It all
That's
counts.
3, 4,
Free fall
5
time.
jumps. Yeah.
That's
Speaking of C license, I'm going to Hawaii in March to visit my son. He's stationed out in Hawaii right now, and
Lucky you.
yeah, out of all the drop zones there, the only one that I could find that lets fun jumpers jump requires a C license. Or
because
better.
it's extremely windy, man.
Is that why?
Yeah, it's windy all the time in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
was,
they want you to have the canopy experience, the canopy time.
yeah.
John Wilbur started jumping at Skydive PA. He's an instructor, a tandem instructor. I don't know if he ever got his AFF, but he's an instructor. He jumps at Skydive Hawaii. I don't know which one.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know how many drop zones they have. And the girl that went on the trip with us to Brazil, Sayla, she's from Hawaii. She jumps over there too.
Okay.
But that's why, because it's not like unjumpable, obviously, but
Sure.
there's a reason.
Yeah,
Skydive
liability.
Sebastian, you used to have a B license to jump there,
Sure.
and they, just because it's near the water.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But then they changed that at one point. I don't know when. So.
Speaking of Sebastian, did you guys see everybody at Invasion?
Mm-hmm.
So jealous.
I
wish I could have been there. I have 2 more goals, guys. 2 more goals. We got sidetracked.
Let's hear it.
Well, one you already said, canopy stuff. I got to get better than 50-50. I got to get better than 50-50. And then the other one, like I said, was the base jump. I want to do at least start dipping a toe into that world, whether it's just one jump at Bridge Day or something. I want to make at least one base jump. That's plan for next year. 100 jumps, better canopy control, or I guess accuracy, not control, but canopy accuracy, and
Control's always good too, man.
a base jump.
You only get accuracy with control.
That's true.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeff? What do you want to do next year or this year?
Fly.
Free fly. Yeah, I want.
Yeah,
I want to work on free flying, and I want to do a lot more group jumps, and I want to work on just belly flying and docking and just stuff like that.
It always helps if you go to a drop zone that has a variety of experience,
Mhm.
and sometimes they'll have belly camps and stuff like that, because then you kind of really get to assess like where your actual belly skills are for group jumps, right?
Right.
If you're jumping with 4 other people that's got 40 to 75 to 80 skydives,
Yep.
you might not be learning a whole lot,
Oh yeah.
Not to say that I'm not shitting on anybody.
No, no,
Everybody's got
no.
to start somewhere. But if you're jumping in a group with, like, say, an organizer that has 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 belly jumps, and then there's a mixture of this guy's got 300, this guy's got 150, this guy's got 67, you'll learn a lot more
Right.
just flying with those more experienced people.
Yeah. Yeah. I found that the problem with the new jumping with newer jumpers is we just don't have good enough recovery. To
That and it's dive flow and dirt diving.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's, what do you want to do? I don't know. Let's just get out and try to build around, and then what? I don't know.
Well, I think a lot of it's
So
fall
half
weight
the time
too.
you're chasing somebody to just get to build around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everybody's so new.
Yep.
That's kind
Yeah.
of where the learning curve comes in with jumping with experienced people that can match a fall rate or stick to one fall rate, stay right there, and then somebody plays base, and then you have other experienced people as
Yes.
well.
You have a dive flow, and the more experienced divers, like you're saying, they're going to set you up on that. You're going to have a plan. You're going to mock it before you go. It's very interesting jumping at the different places and jumping with seeing how when me and Brian went to Cleveland, Jeremy Long, he was great. He just come right in and helped us set up and figured out what we were going to do. And we would have never been able to jump like that just on our own if we would have put that together,
Yeah. That's always awesome to go to newer drop zones. Go to new drop zones
Yeah.
just to meet different people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You always
would
learn
say
something.
that is a discouragement for buying an unlimited package at any drop zone. It's going to make you not want to go anywhere else.
And that's what I was thinking, Brian.
Yeah.
That's
I
it,
mean,
man.
like-
As I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause you're going to be like, I already paid for all the gyms here. I can only go there, Yeah.
You got 2 great drop zones within an hour of you.
Yeah.
Well, pretty
And
close.
sometimes if it's too shitty to jump at Skydive PA, the weather's good at Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only problem with Cleveland is they rarely open early in the day. They usually open at like 2 or 3, unless it's a weekend, then they'll open earlier. But most of my availability is like 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, not 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock,
And me too. That's where I've kind of run into a problem. If I would have been able to do more than one jump, like I like tonight, I'd love to have a beer with you. I got to go to work in 2 hours, but yeah, I'd work at 3 o'clock a lot too. So I'd go in, get a jump, and then when the Cessna was there, I'd have to like roll.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I would have put 2 jumps in instead of 1 on many of the times that I went, my jump count would be way higher. But
Well, honestly, the only reason I even started going to Cleveland was because I was trying to get my B license and I needed formation jumps, like
Sure.
the requirement for formation jumps, and you just
10, right?
couldn't do it out of the Cessnas because they had tandems
Yeah,
in there,
people.
and you just couldn't do it. So I had to go to Cleveland to get formation to do the formation jump requirement.
Yeah.
But King Air's back. Well, new King Air, so
that's great.
we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Nope.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, you never know, I guess.
You're still also a minion to the weather. You
Well,
know?
yeah, but I mean that's just a given. Like, there's no way around that. It's just the way it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. As we've learned twice this year already, because we tried to jump in December, schedule plan a day to go jump, and the weather sucked, and it looks like the weather's going to suck this weekend too.
Yeah.
Orange should be open now.
They're not. I called them
They should be open soon.
February,
Yeah. Okay.
and
So
then
they're
Cross
closed all
Keys.
January.
Rough Keys too, February, right?
Yeah. For Freeze Fest, I guess is when February 18th or something like that is when I open.
That's got to be a long drive for you, though, man.
Cross Keys, yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably close to 8.
Oh wow.
It's
Yeah,
a
I
cool
guess
drop
it
zone.
makes sense.
I've jumped there a bunch, especially when I was newer.
How do you like Cross Keys?
It's great, man. They
Yeah.
had an otter. I think they still have an otter.
Yeah.
The landing area is huge.
Yep.
Cool people.
Yeah. Yeah. I jumped with Tom Glenn there.
Yeah, that's his home DZ now, I believe.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
been jumping a lot there.
I did
That
a
guy,
He jumps there.
he's killing it as far as his, like, doing a whole bunch of jumping. I don't know how, like, if his skills are any good or not, but as far as actually just jumping out of airplanes, he's like racking
Maybe
numbers,
the only way
man.
to get better is to do it.
Yeah, I know. Him and
You
I
know?
did our IAD classes together 2
Yeah.
years ago. So like, and then we started AFF, and yeah, he's just jumping his face off, man. I think he's over 300 or 400 now, something like that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Remember, Jeff, it's quality.
Mhm.
not quantity.
Yes.
You want numbers? Do hop and pops.
Yeah. Uh,
You want to get you sort of jump numbers?
yep.
Get out at 3.5.
No,
If you want to work on canopy accuracy, do hop and
Boy,
pop.
that's another thing too, though. Hop and pops are great. Just, you know, if all you want to work on is canopy, hop and pops are great. A little bit cheaper. You can get more in, depending probably not Scott IPA, but depending on where you are.
well, and at least doing two, I found versus the one. Like the one, I do the one jumps, and I'm learning and stuff. But like when I was at Paraclete to get to jump 6 times in 2 days, like the learning, the repetition, it's
Fresh, you're current. Yeah, man.
yeah, uh,
Yeah. When I first started jumping, Jeff Reckert still ran the drop zone, and they had the porter, and I was broke. Like I was young. I wasn't making a lot of money. You know, I got making $10 an hour or something. And he's like, "Well, you got to think about it this way, man. I'm trying to teach you how to skydive 1 minute at a time. So, like, the more jumps you can make, the more you're going to learn, and the quicker you're going to learn.
yeah,
But making one jump every 2 weeks, don't expect to make a whole lot of progress.
right.
You know, I mean, you get there, but like I ended up doing, I think 4 AFF jumps back then, and then I didn't jump again for years because I wasn't making enough money. And then, you know, later on in life, I was like, okay, like 2011, 2012, I was like, let's go for it. Then I just jumped my ass off.
Yeah, it's great.
I was actually just explaining that concept to my stepdad the other day. Jeff, you had posted that video of us jumping in Cleveland,
Mhm.
and he was talking to me about skydiving, and I was like, oh, well, this is a really easy video to find. So I went and found that one, and he asked me why I broke off, like why, like did I, you know, fall away from the formation? And I said, he's like, you have 100 jumps, like why? How come those guys did it and you didn't? And I was like, well, at the time, I didn't have 100 jumps.
Yeah.
And also, I'm learning this 1 minute at a time. Like,
1 minute
you
at a
know,
time,
like,
man.
that's,
Because somebody's got 100 jumps. Does you know what I mean? Unless they got hours of tunnel time, it just, you know, that's just the nature of the game, man.
but to
Lower
him,
jump
you know,
numbers, you're going to have lower skill. That's
To-
not doesn't mean that you're a shitty jumper. That's just there's a progression to everything.
yeah.
When you
To
get your
him,
permit
to him,
drive,
100 jumps was like a lot. He was like, but that's a big number. Why aren't, like,
yeah,
you know, why aren't you like better at this? And I was like, well, you only get 1 minute, like 1 minute. That's it. You know?
yeah,
Skydiving's like learning to walk, I feel. And the progression of it is because when you're learning to walk as a child, you don't know anything about it. And when you're learning to skydive, I mean, before you can even crawl, you got to learn how to get up. Like, there's so many stages in the learning, and it's not a natural. I mean, people don't fly naturally.
just holding a heading for a lot of people is tough.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
just get out, get stable. We're gonna let go of you. Don't move.
Stay at one thing.
If you're doing this a little
That's
bit,
it.
that's cool. That's cool. But if you're going like this, there's a problem. You know,
yeah.
it's just you just got to learn. That's all there is to it.
And not only do you
Experience.
got to learn, but you're jumping out of a plane at 13,005 like that.
Yeah, when you're a newer jumper too, there's like you don't always remember everything.
Yeah.
You know, especially your first, 10 or 20 AFF jumps or 15 AFF jumps or whatever you do. You know, it's the recall is.
Yes.
I'll tell you what though, I always say it. I'm a proponent of the wind tunnel if you're going to do AFF, because not only are you not going to be worried about not being out of control and knowing how to fly your body, you will be more present and you will recall more of your jump because you have that one less thing to worry about.
Yes.
Like if you have some proficiency on your belly from tunnel, all you got to do is exit. You know you can fly.
Right.
You know, even if it's belly flying and you've only got 20, 30, 45 minutes of tunnel time, you know that you can boom, stable, and you can turn left and you can turn right, and you're not going to tumble out of control.
Mhm.
Just not having to worry about that. You can, you have more recall, you're more altitude aware.
Well, like you said, more present. I find
Yeah, you're more present
Yes.
in the moment.
every jump I make, I become more and more present. And
Dude, you'll get to a
Time
point
slows
where
just a little bit more each time.
even free flying, that your brain at some point is gonna go, dude, I should be breaking off, and it's going to be about time to pull, and you'll look, or your audible will go off, and like, yep, I knew it. See ya.
Yeah.
Like, or you'll be on jumps, and you'll get all this stuff done. You'll be like, dude, we're only at $9,000. You know?
yeah, that's awesome.
That happens to me when I do like solo belly jumps. Like you just jump out and you do some 360s, or you do a flip or whatever, or maybe you roll on your back and then you look
like 10,000 feet. Now what do I do?
exactly, and then I just fall and I do really slow 360s and I just look around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think one thing that really helped me was actually one of the AFF jumps. It made me realize that I can fix this. It was the exit where you just fall onto your back. So you exit unstable. I don't remember what category it is, but you exit unstable.
Just exiting unstable, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Dive out, roll out, go out on your back. It's just to go out stable and then get stable.
Well, when I did it, Kush was the AFFI, and he just had me, stand at the door and just fall out on my back. And there was a second or two of, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, But then I just arched, and I went head over heels, and I got on my belly, and everything was fine. And it was at that moment that I realized it doesn't matter. As long as I'm falling, I'm good. I can get back on my belly. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what's happening. As long as I have time and altitude, I can get on my belly and everything will be fine.
Yeah. It all clicks. Just like free flying. Like, at some point you'll be like on your back, you'll be like, boom.
Yep.
And then you'll start to sit up and you'll be like, holy shit. You'll probably be backsliding like a motherfucker. Because that was always my problem. I'd get into a sit, boom, and I'd go. The last time I did a free fly jump, I did it with Shelby. And dude, for the life of me, I could not get into a sit. And I was like, what the? Because I'd been free flying in so long. I'm like, dude, that was embarrassing and ridiculous.
So when you're at Skydive PA, are you more so coaching and instructing more so than actually just getting fun jumps in?
Yeah, mostly. But like this year, unless there's like a bunch of students, I mean, I'm going to try to progress B as far as possible, get her through at least AFF and into solo status this, spring.
How many jumps has she made?
I don't know. I'd have to ask. I'd have to look at her logbook.
Right.
She's made 2 or 3 IEDs, and I've done at least up to category E with her. I mean, she's only got to do. We'll have to jump back a level or something and do a recurrency jump, right? We're not
Sure.
Technically, you're supposed to do the whole like first jump course over again, but we won't have to do that. We should be able to get her at least through AFF and solo status. And
Well, she spends enough time there with you. She might as well be jumping out of airplanes,
yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. So, but I'd like to do a little bit more fun jumping this year too. I think towards a lot of this summer, past summer was a lot of AFF instructing.
Well, you did the canopy course and water training and stuff too.
Yeah, I
you
did some of that
spent
stuff.
some time doing that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, you helped me get my B license. I appreciate it.
yeah.
I was just going to say, we greatly appreciate your time and effort.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I'd like to get some wingsuit jumps in this year, like a decent amount. Really get good at, like, I just started back flying my ATC like the end of last season, and then
So you'd rather be wingsuiting if you could do anything at Skydive PA, you not instructing, you're skydiving, or I mean, you're wingsuiting.
yeah,
Okay.
not instructing, definitely wingsuit or track suit, or I like just tracking in general, even in just slick tracking, technically, like just in a jumpsuit.
That's
With
what
like
I want to learn this year.
With like a group of people, I love tracking, man. Just tracking with people.
Can I put on a tracking suit before 200 jumps?
Um, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it.
All right. Okay.
It's going to be a lot unless you're getting like a intro, right? You can go on Squirrel's website and they have a recommended progression with a recommended number of jumps.
Well, yeah, like a
Probably
beginner's,
get in a one piece.
like a beginner's tracking suit, whatever, something small,
You'd get into a one piece. You wouldn't get into like a two piece.
Right.
A two piece tracking suit is hard to learn how to fly, man. Learning how to fly an intro wingsuit is way easier than learning how to fly a two piece.
But you don't know there isn't like a BSR or anything that sticks out that like says you can't do it.
I don't think so.
'Cause that might be interesting, or
Let me look.
to develop that skill a little bit before actually putting a wingsuit on.
We'll just start tracking, dude. Start slick tracking first. Start slick tracking with people, be able to get into that body position and like be able to track with somebody,
All right.
right? Like I got a really good video of like me and Anthony and Swagger, like all beside each other because that was like one of Anthony's first tracking jumps. We're like, you exit first, man. I'll exit last. Swagger will exit before me. We'll catch him. We'll track. And it was cool because it was like Anthony, Swagger, me. Got some really cool photos out of it.
So when you guys track together like that, are you just exiting, getting to belly, and then tracking the opposite?
You should try to exit in your track.
Okay.
Right? So front float,
Yep.
facing forward into the relative wind, but sort of exit.
Like track up the hill, almost like try to track up the hill.
Sort of, yeah, but you're going to keep your legs bent. You're going to keep your arms are going to come back real slow. And then slowly extend your legs and then slowly bring your legs down to the arch, right? So exiting front float or just even diving out, jumping out just sideways, like stepping out sideways into the relative wind is going to be the easiest exit.
And when you're tracking, and you guys get into your tracking, so obviously you're going the opposite direction of the line of flight, correct? And
You want to basically
90
get
degrees
out
to jump run, right?
and make either a 45 to the left
okay.
or a 45 to the right.
Yep.
Also depends on if there's more than one tracking group,
Okay.
if there's wingsuiters, stuff like that. But normally you'll get out as soon as you get out and you're stable and you start tracking, make a left 45, start flying out till a certain point.
Yep.
10,000 feet or something, and start turning your way back towards the drop zone.
And will you guys plan that, or will you
Oh, yeah.
kind of follow, or?
Yeah, we'll try. Yeah, I mean, we'll try to plan it.
Okay.
Depends on like who the
Sure.
like the group track's only going to be as strong as the weakest or the less experienced person.
Sure.
Right. So we'll usually let them set the pace and the direction, and
Okay.
if they're nowhere to be found because they just tumbled, well then we stick with the dive flow because that's what we said we were going to do,
Yeah.
and that's what we do.
Yep. I've only tracked away for separation before deployment. I've never just done a straight up tracking jump, but that's something this year that I want to. Speaking of goals this year, I'd love to learn how to.
It's fun, man. Tracking's fun.
I'm
Yeah.
tracking with
I
you.
love backtracking, like leading the way, and then have somebody like go like, "Okay, turn left," okay, turn right.
Yeah.
All right, it's fun, especially when you have a group of people.
Before we end things here, what is that behind your head, Joe? Is that a new piece of artwork?
That is an AI generated photo that B got me for Christmas of me jumping a certain building somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what was its interpretation, but I think it turned out really well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually saw that. She asked my opinion on it. That's why I
That's
wanted to point it out.
That was an awesome gift. It's cool.
Yeah, it is. That's super cool.
You get something to look at to like, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
But here, let me just.
Oh,
do this.
so one thing I wanted to ask you, and we'll just be real quick here. What's your base number? Because you got it, right?
I haven't been applied for it yet.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay.
No,
All right.
no. But I've got all my objects. But yeah, see, Sumo 4, 0 wingsuit skydives.
Yeah.
Sausage 3, 0. Mutation, 0.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
So I could do like any of those.
Sprint's a student. I don't. I'm gonna have to Google.
Like what that actually means.
Yeah, I don't think there is a requirement for tracking suits.
And is that what that Sumo 4 is? Or are they all tracking suits along their way?
These are all
They're all
technically
tracking
suits,
Okay.
right? The Sumo is a 2-piece.
Yeah.
Sausage is a 1-piece. Mutation is a 1-piece, and
Wow,
ETM,
those are
DOS.
tracking
one.
suits, huh? Yeah.
yeah. So and then they got you like a progression, right?
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
So
These are
what's the difference between a tracking suit and a wingsuit? Is it just that the tracking suit doesn't inflate like a wingsuit inflates?
no, it's technically an inflatable, and you're gonna get flight out of it. You're not gonna get as much performance as a wingsuit, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of getting you into flying fabric and then transition into a wingsuit.
Alright.
Although the Power onesie is pretty freaking sweet. I wouldn't mind having one of those, to be honest. It's sort of like the Mutation, but not.
All right.
Yeah. Terry has one. I know Corey has a couple. There it is. Onesie Power Phoenix Fly. There was guys taking their onesies off of Caprito and getting a lot of. That's not a good picture, but see, that's basically.
And that's a
Power
tracking suit?
Sort of, but you can get some glide out of it, man. If you can fly it good, you can get some good glide. Like you can get some real good distance.
All right. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably call it an evening, gentlemen. I have
Cool.
kids I have to encourage to get ready for school in the morning.
Mom. Yeah, I gotta work tomorrow as
All right.
well.
Well, Jeff, thanks for joining us. Thanks
No,
for
thanks for having me.
listening
Yeah.
and supporting the show. That's awesome.
Yeah, you
We
guys-
really appreciate that.
You do a great job. And I was just telling Melissa, my wife, tonight that the nice part about this podcast, too, is you've combined, beginner experience with experience. And I told her a lot of the podcasts or videos you watch, it's all professional aspect. It's not, you don't ever hear, it's nice to hear what's on a beginner's mind or somebody with low jump cut.
Yeah.
Because
I definitely make an idiot out of myself a
always
lot.
learning, man. Even skydive, base, always learning.
yeah,
Like, always.
yep, that's great. So
Like I am not an expert in anything.
that's it. All right. Well,
All right.
yeah,
So
keep doing what you're doing, guys.
as always, everybody, if you would like to be in Jeff's seat one of these days, just send us an email at what's our email address? Beerpodcast24
Podcast24
at gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to hear what you think of the show. So, with that, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys.
Have a good week.
Have a good one.
We'll see you.
Peace out. Blue skies.
Blue sky.